In today's episode, Bob asks, what's the best way to quickly get your mind wrapped around how new software works and to come up with a strategy for applying it to your projects? In the end, it comes down to classification and understanding where that piece of software fits in your marketing technology stack. The easiest analogy I can make is that if you look around your kitchen, right, and there's all these appliances, and I put a new appliance in the kitchen, if that appliance is any good at all, its form should hint at its function, right? You should broadly be able to tell, like, that kind of looks like a coffee machine, or it kind of looks like a toaster, or it kind of looks like a frying pan. And then from there, even if you don't know the specifics, you know broadly what it does. So if you have this thing, or you're trying to evaluate this thing, you can kind of get a sense of what it's supposed to do. A bread machine, for example, looks a little bit, open it up, looks like an oven inside, right? If you can't tell, like you open up things that look like doors and stuff, and you just can't tell what the thing does, it's not a very good appliance, right? If you think about software, and you think about these lovely devices, right? You can hand this to a 5-year-old, and they can open up apps, they can do stuff, they can play games, and there's no manual. They don't need a manual. They don't need anything at all to get going. It's very intuitive for them. That's the hallmark of great software, is you can open it up and it's intuitive enough that you have a sense of what it should be doing. Again, you may not know the specifics, but you know broadly, this is a video editing software. This is lead management software. This is email software. If you can't tell that, it's not very good software. It's not well designed at all, and chances are it's probably not going to be not going to help you deliver results. I'm trying to think if there's any exceptions to that rule. And generally speaking, until you get to writing software, that's generally true. Once you get to writing software, like in a development environment, then that's when things do start to get a little less user-friendly. But for the average user, the average marketer, the form should dictate the function, and to you, it should be apparent what the function is, and if it doesn't, that's not very good software. Now, if you are trying to find new software and you're trying to evaluate new software, that's a different bucket of worms. But just because somebody publishes something new and says, hey, here's the thing, that's how you evaluate it. Say, what does it do? And if they can't explain it without resorting to a bunch of buzzwords and jargon, then it also probably doesn't do anything that's helpful or new. If you think about software kind of like the phases of a clinical trial, it's not a bad framework to adopt. So the phases of a clinical trial, broadly speaking, are: phase 1, does it cause harm? Phase 2, does it work at all? And phase 3, does it work better than an existing solution? When you look at a piece of software, number 1, does it cause harm? Is it damaging to your systems? Certainly, you don't want to ever integrate something in your MarTech stack that's going to start like accidentally deleting data. Right, that would be really bad. Step 2. Does the software do anything at all that's productive or useful, right? Somebody says, this is lead management software, and there's no lead scoring, right? Okay, that's not very helpful. And then stage 3 is, does it work better than an existing solution, right? That is in pharma, it's called the standard of care. And in software, you can call it whatever you want. But if you have a CRM and it doesn't do a better job than your existing CRM, you have a pretty clear idea that, like, yeah, this package is not for us. And it can be tricky, particularly with more complex pieces of software. There may be an evaluation window that takes a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, those 3 phases are not bad benchmarks to evaluate really anything on, but especially software. Does it harm? Does it help at all? Does it help better than the existing solution? For new software where there is no existing category, like maybe you're deploying for your very first time an integrated machine learning environment, it's going to be harder to make those determinations because you literally have no prior experience. And that's where having a subject matter expert or a domain expert to come in and evaluate it with you will be helpful. You want to be able to buddy up with somebody and say, hey, this is IBM's new development environment. What do you think of it? and they should ask you, okay, well, what would you do with this thing? What kinds of problems would you be trying to solve that would need an integrated machine learning environment? Oh, well, we have all these leads and we want to build a better lead score. Okay. So they could take the data, put it into the system and say, well, here's what it came up with. Is this at all accurate? And is this better than the scores that you've got? And you, as the subject matter expert in marketing, could go, well, no, I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of people here who are college students who are not qualified leads in any sense of the word, and yet the system has scored them, A+ leads. So clearly the system does not work. Or it would say, it managed to dig out all the CEOs who have signing authority, and our previous system scored them Bs. This is scoring them As. That's pretty good. So classify and then test are the ways that you wrap your brain around new software and figuring out how it applies to existing things. When it comes to applying it into your existing strategy, the question you have to ask is, where does it apply? And how easy is it to drop in? One of the criteria I have for marketing technology software is how easy it is to integrate. If it doesn't have APIs, if it doesn't have built-in integrations, if other products in the stack don't support it, there's a good chance that it's going to be more of a pain than not, right? That kind of goes back to, not causing harm. If you've got something that is going to require a whole bunch of extra development time and a whole bunch of extra resources, that's taking away from resources that you probably don't have a whole lot of. So in that evaluation, look at what it's going to take to swap this piece in for an existing piece or add it to your existing workflow. How well does it connect with us? How well does it play with others, if you will? So classification, clinical trial phases, integration. Those 3 steps should get you most of the way towards understanding how any piece of software works and strategically where it fits into the existing system so that it improves the system. There are cases where you'll have multiplicative effects from a piece of software. It will do multiple things in your existing system, and those are the gems to keep. Visualization software, some types of data science software can amplify impact at multiple points within your technology stack, and those are the ones that you definitely want to keep because they offer in a lot of extra value. So, really good question. If you have follow-up questions, leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.